So Ubisoft have finally revealed the Blackbeard Rework, a complete overhaul to Blackbeard as an operator. He is going to function completely differently from what we have known over the past nearly 10 years of Rainbow Six. Fundamentally, he is now going to be a shield operator, but he is going to be able to use his primary at the same time. But in today's video, we're going to be going over 6 hidden details you might have missed about the Blackbeard Rework that I think you would really like to know. So without wasting your time, leave a like, subscribe, and let's jump straight into hidden detail number 1. Now, as we all know, Blackbeard is now going to be able to fully launch himself through soft walls in Rainbow Six Siege from year 9 season 4 and onwards. This can be kind of compared to how Oryx is going to function, but this is obviously something we already know. And one thing you might not have realized is the impact that this is going to have on other operators, and more specifically Sledge. Now, as we know, Ubisoft love nerfing Sledge, either directly or indirectly nerfing him, and with this Blackbeard rework and the fact that he's now going to be able to go through soft walls, it's once again kind of acting as another little nerf to Sledge. Now, the reason why this actually impacts Sledge is because obviously he is now going to be in direct competition with this new version of Blackbeard, and breaking it down fundamentally, I think going through soft walls, Blackbeard is actually going to be better than Sledge moving forward. I guess the only real redeeming factor here is that Sledge is still going to be the only one who can do this vertically, the only one who will be able to do this to the floor and hatches, which probably is the strong point of Sledge to begin with, but still the fact that this is now going to be in competition with the new Blackbeard rework is once again going to nerf Sledge. Now, this could potentially have a knock-on effects for Sledge. We could definitely see a drop in pick rate and win rate next season, which could eventually lead to Ubisoft giving Sledge a buff. Now, I think a buff to Sledge has been long overdue, to be completely honest, and what I would like to see is Ubisoft go back on one of the changes they made to him a while ago. Now, I don't know how long you guys have been playing Siege, but back in the day when I was maining Sledge, he actually had access to the SMG-11, and I think if this does have an impact on Sledge and his pick rate and win rate, then I think it's time for Ubisoft to finally give the SMG-11 back to Sledge. Obviously, it doesn't help the fact that his gadget is still going to be fundamentally worse at going through soft walls than Blackbeard now, but I think it does give reason to us as a community to play Sledge over Blackbeard. Either way, moving on into detail number 2, and this is something that you might not have realized about Blackbeard's rework, and that is who he now directly counters. Now, for the longest time in Rainbow Six Siege, Blackbeard has not really directly countered anyone, and to be honest, no one directly countered him either. Instead, his gadget kind of just countered everyone, and everyone kind of countered his gadget, but not directly. But now that he is a shield operator, now that he has the ability to go through walls, there is actually 3 defenders that Blackbeard now directly counters. The first of those being pretty obvious, but it's going to be Castle's Barricade. Now, if you guys don't know, Blackbeard is going to be able to instantly break through Castle's Barricade without having to put any utility on it or without having to hit it a bunch of times. He's going to be able to walk up to it and bash through it instantly like he can with any other soft wall. Now, again, this could actually have knock-on effects to Castle and his pick rate and his win rate. Obviously, it's too early to tell. We'll probably be able to tell by the mid-season patch of next season, but it is something to keep in mind going into this season. Another operator that he's going to be able to directly counter is Azami. Now, I don't see it too often anymore since Azami's got her health bar attached to her gadget, but if an Azami tries putting up a barricade to kind of block off a doorway or a sight line or something like that, if you are able to walk up to it as a Blackbeard, again, you are going to be able to instantly destroy it with that bashing feature. So no more will you be able to, temporarily block off a sight line using Azami, because if you try and do that, Blackbeard is just going to bash straight through it with his shield up and you're not going to do anything about it. Now, the third and final direct counter of the new Blackbeard rework actually comes against the newest defender in the game, which is actually Skopos. Now, as we all know, we can destroy Skopos's spare robot if you find it in its shield state. Well, once again, using this this bashing breakthrough feature, Blackbeard will be able to actually destroy Scopus' drone once again without having to use up any utility, which is another great reason why you should be bringing Blackbeard. And with these 3 direct counters, I think it does actually set up Blackbeard to be used a lot more. As I said earlier, Blackbeard just didn't really counter anyone directly before, so there was not really any situation where you would need a Blackbeard. But now if you find yourself coming up against a team that has a castle, an Azami, or a Skopos, or even a mixture of a few of them, then bringing a Blackbeard over other operators will actually benefit you as a team and actually help you directly counter who the defenders are picking. Now, hidden detail number 3 is actually just a bit of a misconception that I've seen in the community and in my comment section a few times, and that is the fact that people think you are going to be able to shoot as Blackbeard while having the glass head protection bulletproof part of the shield activated. Now, I'm putting this in here just to let you guys know that you're not going to be able to do that. If you want to shoot with Blackbeard's AR or DMR, whatever you decide to choose, you will first have to put down the shield so that your head is now exposed, meaning you can't shoot people with your shield up. Instead, you will now have to choose when and when you do not want this covering your head, and when instead you would rather be able to shoot back. I think this was probably the best solution to Blackbeard and his shield. Obviously before he was a bit problematic because where he obviously can block headshot before, if that shield could block too many bullets to the head, then it would allow you to win that gunfight 9 times out of 10. But if you actually reduced the health of that shield too much, then it becomes absolutely useless, which is what we've seen with Blackbeard for a long time now. So I think with this little tweak, it's going to put Blackbeard in a spot that's just ideal for everyone. He becomes a slightly better operator, but obviously he's not going to be too overpowered. Now, hidden detail number 4 is that this new Blackbeard gadget has actually been, in the lore, developed by Mira. So what basically happened is, with the threat of the Kirez Legion in the lore, Mira actually helped Blackbeard upgrade his gadget to the shield that we can see nowadays because of this looming threat of Deimos's Kirez Legion. Again, this one wasn't really a hidden detail, but it's more of like a fun fact about this, and to be honest, I like the fact that lore-wise it all makes sense, you know. There are actually consequences to what is happening in the lore. Obviously, with Nighthaven being under threat, people like Mira, who are in charge of developing and upgrading gadgets, look at operators that may be a little bit underpowered, like Blackbeard, and decide to actually develop it a little bit further to make him kind of able to put up a fight against the Kirez Legion, who have stolen Nighthaven weapons. Another smaller detail you might have missed from the reveal is that starting next season, you are not going to be able to have a secondary as Blackbeard. Starting next season, obviously the shield, his gadget, is going to become his primary weapon, and his secondary is actually going to be the 2 primaries he currently has, which is his AR, the MK17, and his SR25 DMR. So starting next season, Blackbeard will not have his deagle anymore, so RIP to the deagle lovers. Just as a little bit of a side note as well, another thing that got removed from his loadout is flashbangs. He's no longer going to be able to bring flashbangs to the table. They just removed it completely as an option, so now he's only going to have the option of bringing frag grenades and claymores. And then the final detail in this video is going to be what is going to happen to Blackbeard's elite skin. Now, the skin itself, headgear and uniform combo, is obviously going to stay the same. Blackbeard as an operator hasn't changed in appearance or anything like that. It's obviously just his gadget that's changed. And as far as I'm concerned, Blackbeard's elite skin actually didn't change his gadget skin much. But if you already own this elite skin, or you're thinking of buying it in the near future, then what's probably going to happen is Ubisoft are going to develop a brand new gadget skin for this elite skin bundle. Now, if you already have this skin, you'll obviously just get it automatically once they actually release it, and then to anyone who buys it after that point will obviously just get the new gadget skin and the old one will be removed. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for today's video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, and please consider subscribing if you did. Click the video on screen if you want to watch more videos just like this, and without further ado guys, I'll see you in the next one.